Hi, I'm Johnny, and this is Off the Beaten Trail, and today I'm taking you to Ship Island, Mississippi. So right now I am on the Mississippi coast and I'm about to go ahead and go to the ferry. I have to travel to Biloxi. But before I do that, I'm going to give you a little bit of information about Mississippi's Gulf Coast. So if you don't know much about Mississippi's Gulf Coast, one thing that you might know is that it's not really renowned for its clear water, but it does have very pretty beaches. And it's kind of funny that I say that actually, because today I'm out here and the water is actually much more clear than I've seen it on most days. The water clarity really has more to do with the river systems and the waves, and there's a debate that goes on whether or not the water has to do with water pollution or whether or not it is just the river systems and the murk coming out of the Pearl and Pascagoula rivers. I would say that the best place on the coast to see clear water would be Ocean Springs, and then when you come further down the coast you will see a little bit more murky water as you get closer to the Pearl River. There have been times when I've seen water clarity of about 4 feet on the coast, and so I've heard that Ship Island has clear water, and I'm not certain if it's going to be like that today, but we will find out. So Mississippi's Gulf Coast goes from Pascagoula, Ocean Springs, Biloxi, Long Beach past Christiane, and Bay St. Louis, also Waveland. However, it's most well known for Waveland to Ocean Springs. Anywhere in between there is known as the coast. And another thing that Mississippi's well known for on its coast would be its casinos. Along the coast there's a lot of tourism for casinos. They're also known for cruising the coast and Mardi Gras, but there's a lot to do here when it comes to nightlife and when it comes to urban tourism, because this is one of the largest metropolitan areas in the state, and there's a lot to do with urban tourism on the coast. And so a lot of people come here, but what a lot of the tourists don't know is that Mississippi has some beautiful barrier islands, and these islands are 12 to 15 miles off of the coastline. Some of them get very good water clarity. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It really depends on the factors that are affecting the Gulf. But if you're gonna find really pretty water in Mississippi, you're gonna find it on those beaches. And that's where I'm taking you out today. Like I said before, Ship Island is only accessible by boat. There are 2 ferries that will take you to Ship Island. These are seasonal ferries, and they are not for vehicles, they are only for passengers. I know that the ferries stop running in the winter time. You can find the ferries in Gulfport and in Biloxi. And the fall and the early spring, Ship Island is only accessible on weekdays through the Biloxi ferry and Gulfport on the weekends. However, that changes to where it's accessible by both locations in the summer. Ship Island tickets cost $32 for adults and $22 for children 10 and under. If you have a military ID or if you are a senior citizen, you will get a discount of $2. And if you order online, you will also get a discount of $2. As I said before, you can get on the Ship Island Ferry from Gulfport and Biloxi. These are two of the largest cities on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. They are located right next to each other in Harrison County. Harrison County has a population of about 205,000. Harrison County's largest city is Gulfport with a population of about 76,000, and Biloxi is the second largest city in the county with a population of about 42,000. So you can find Ship Island Excursions by searching for Ship Island Excursions Mississippi on Google Maps. I'm going to make sure to leave a link in the description in case you would like to find Ship Island Excursions website there. Okay, so I'm about to go ahead and take you to the island, but before I do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that way I can take you to a new location each week. So I'm actually extremely excited to be able to take you to Ship Island. It has been something that has been on my bucket list since I was 13 years old, and I'm finally able to go ahead and scratch it off. Mississippi has multiple barrier islands. One is named Petite Bois, the other is named Horns, and then you have Ship Island and Cats Island. There are a few islands in between those islands as well, but those are the most well known. These islands are home to multiple different types of migratory birds that stop on the islands, and these islands also, they are all uninhabited and they each have their own unique qualities. Unfortunately, I will only be able to travel to one of them. Ship Island is the only island that is accessible by ferry, and the other islands are accessible to people that don't have a boat, but you would have to rent a large charter to go out there, or a boat that can withstand large waves. Due to limited funds and because those boats are really expensive, I will not be able to take you to any of the other islands. now I am standing at was once called the Camille Cut. This end of Ship Island separated the two islands, Ship Island East and Ship Island West, when the Hurricane Camille came through and cut the islands in half. People often would jet ski across this cut, and boats would often use it as a passage between the two islands instead of having to go all the way around the island. However, now the cut doesn't exist. Ship Island not only offers scenic beauty, but it also allows you to be able to explore a unique military fort named Fort Massachusetts, constructed after the War of 1812.
Good afternoon. My name is Charlie Clark. I'm a volunteer of the National Park Service. We're going to see a site which is located at Gulf Island's National Seashore, Ship Island, about 12 miles off the Mississippi mainland. We're in Fort Massachusetts on Ship Island. See two platforms here, one for sure, maybe the other one back a bit further in the shadows. These are platforms which supported generators. When Franklin Roosevelt sold this Fort Massachusetts to the American Legion in Gulfport in the early 1930s, they decided to have gambling out here. And these platforms supported generators to support that gambling effort. So they're in the corner, many people miss them, but that's exactly what they're for, is to support gambling here in Fort Massachusetts during the Prohibition era. Hi, Charlie Clark again, and inside Fort Massachusetts on the Barrier Island, Ship Island, up the coast of Mississippi. What you see here is clearly a furnace. There's the chimney. However, this had nothing to do with food, baking food. It had everything to do with cannonballs. It's called a hot shot furnace. It's not unique in this fort. It's in most of the larger forts in the eastern seaboard. They would take roughly 60 cannonballs, put them in this end of the oven. After 60-some minutes, they would come out the other end red hot. They would use these two implements to get those cannonballs to cannons. This is a little pitchfork you see here, 2 prongs. They would ladle the hot shot out here, red hot cannonballs, and place it in this tool here, right in the middle. That's where the cannonball would sit, stall. And 2 men would transport that red hot cannonball over to cannons below, 10-inch smoothbore cannons. They would fire that hot shot into ships, which of course in those days were primarily made out of wood. It skipped like a stone, skipped on the water. And the idea being to catch that, set that boat on fire. This is one of my favorite stories in Fort Massachusetts, here on Ship Island, Mississippi. It's how blacks joined the Union Army. There was a commanding general of the 2nd Louisiana Native Guard. His name was Colonel Nathan Daniels. This is one of his other officers. He was placed in charge of the 2nd Louisiana Native Guard, which is a regiment formed in New Orleans after the Union forces took it. And these troops were assigned out here as a black unit. It's the only white officer they had. He fought very valiantly for other officers to be black. He never got his way. However, the 2nd Louisiana Native Guard served out here toward the end of the Civil War. And after the war was over, many of those same troops, 2nd Louisiana Native Guard, went to fight southwestern Indians in America. They became known as the Buffalo Soldiers.
Okay, well that's all for Ship Island. I am also going to leave a link for you so that way you can find Ship Island excursions in Biloxi and Ship Island excursions in Gulfport. I'm going to leave both of those locations in the description below. So one of my favorite things about coming out here to Mississippi's Gulf Coast is to walk down the piers. These piers are beautiful and really, really scenic. And whenever you come out here at night and you're near one of the casinos, the lights from the casinos and the lights from the moon will dance across the water. It's a really romantic location, and that's just a tip in case you want to come out here and check out what Mississippi's Gulf Coast has to offer. Definitely don't miss the piers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment and let me know what your favorite part was. Like and share with your friends, and I will see you next time when I give you my top 5 favorite locations here in Mississippi. And then after that, I will be starting my Alabama segment.